Hi, I'm Christine Comerford from Smart Tribes Institute. I'm a leadership and culture coach. How do you motivate your people? What creates passion, loyalty, devotion, drive, peak performance, even love for one's own organization? Well, let's talk about that today. Let's go through some brain-based tools to break through those top 4 motivation traps. And this is what our clients have been asking me about lately. Hey, people are feeling sort of disengaged. They're getting kind of weary of the pandemic. They're just not quite, their hearts don't feel like they're in it anymore. So one of our coaching clients the other day was really struggling with this. And we went through this. She used some of these techniques. People are getting back on track. So let's go there. Be sure to subscribe, by the way, if you find this video helpful, and enter in your questions below. So Richard Clark at USC Cognitive Thinking did some really interesting research a while ago, and what he found was that there are 4 motivation traps, things that cause a person's motivation to get stuck, if you will. And the first is a values mismatch. So if a project isn't tied to somebody's personal values, then they won't be as motivated by it. And I want us to think for a moment about the logical levels of change. When we encounter change, we experience it on 6 different levels. Environment, right? Environmental change. We also experience behavioral change, right? Capability change, maybe you just got some new skills, right? Then we have belief change, our belief about things outside of us. Identity change, that's a really big one, how we see ourselves. And then core change. Core is like, what is most sacred to us? What is our life purpose? So we can experience change in any of those levels. And what I want to think about today is when somebody is having a values mismatch, where are things not working? Okay, and a values mismatch is basically, I don't care enough to do this. That's like what they're saying. So a way to help shift that is to look at the logical levels of change. Is your environment conducive to collaboration and communication? Are the behaviors of everybody helpful and supportive? Do we have new capabilities, new skills, resources to grow? Do we empower the identity of others? What do we believe about the organization? If we get those things on track, we'll have people that feel more motivated. So what I'm going to put on the page below is we'll put the logical levels, because I want you to start to look at this and notice what's going on in your organization. Number 2, lack of self-efficacy. And self-efficacy really means, I don't think I'm able to do this. If we don't feel that we have the capability, the skill set, the available time, right, we will lose motivation. So how does this work? Well, we want to have a clear spec as to what success looks like. Okay, my leader asked me to do this. I understand exactly what that means and how to do that, and we have an echo back. So what I heard you ask for is bing, bing, and bong. So your leader can then say, well, actually, there's 2 or 3 other things in there as well. We want to really work on getting echoing back when we do delegation or when we receive delegation to make sure that we have that handshake so we agree on what success equals and looks like. One thing I want you guys to think about, and I'm going to attach it below, is a high value, low value. We want to make sure sometimes when we have a challenge about priorities, have we ranked and prioritized things effectively? So look below, making priorities and energy allocation clear with high value added, low value added activities really helps a bunch. So that will help you with the lack of self-efficacy. Cool. Number 3, disruptive emotions, which is really, I'm too upset to do this. I had these just the other day. And I was like, why am I not motivated? Whoops, disruptive emotions. So since humans are highly emotional beings, right? 90% or more of our behaviors are driven, are dominated by our emotional brain. We want to make sure that when we're upset, we actually check in and say, how am I feeling? Wow, I'm feeling frustrated and discouraged and angry and disrespected, whatever your experience is. Because if we can't get aware of our emotions, it's going to be a lot harder to regulate and to choose something different, right? So we want to be able to say, here's how I'm feeling, be present with it. I'm going to put the emotion wheel below, because many of us at any given point in time don't actually know how we feel. So we want to be able to name that first. Then we can say, okay, I'm here and I want to be there. Okay, you've heard me say this before. What would I like? What will having that do for me? How will I know when I have it? When, where, with whom would I like it? What value might I risk or lose? What are my next steps? So when we're stuck in the problem, be there for a sec, let yourself feel it, then do an outcome frame so you can create that desired state that you want to step into. Number 4, motivation trap, attribution errors. I don't know what went wrong with this. When we have that experience of, ooh, I don't really know what went wrong, we are reluctant to try new stuff because we don't want stuff to go wrong again. And you know that feeling of being blindsided? Whoa, it's so bewildering and shocking and uncomfortable. So when something goes wrong and we can't figure out why, it's deeply unsettling. When someone feels they can't complete a task or succeed due to some sort of outside force, right? It's time to unpack what they are believing back to logical levels of change, right? Our beliefs really determine what we are capable of. So once we understand what they're believing, then we can help them get back on track. And a pretty cool tool to use, although it's wicked deep, is org rights. I'll put an org rights infographic below. Org rights, the right to exist, the right to have needs, the right to take action, the right to have consequences for our actions, the right to love and be loved. When we can connect to these or realize, wow, I don't really know what I need to do some work there, then we can increase our rapport with ourselves. The deeper rapport we have with ourselves, the deeper connection we have with ourselves, the greater ability we have to move through the world, to have behavioral choice, which is what it's all about, right? Instead of compulsively reacting, we can say, wow, this is how I'm feeling, huh? How do I want to show up? Where do I want to go from here? When we understand how to motivate others, when we understand what kills motivation in an organization, then we can help people have more behavioral choice. So let's just circle the wagons. The 4 motivation traps. Values mismatch. I don't care enough to do this. We need to help that person get back on track. Look at the tools below. Number 2, lack of self-efficacy. I don't have the capability or the capacity to do this. Whoa, I don't think I'm going to be able to succeed with this. Look at the high value, low value. Number 3, disruptive emotions. God, I'm just too irritated or sad or whatever. And I'm sort of shut down emotionally. Look at the emotion wheel and then get in action with an outcome frame. Number 4, attribution errors. I don't know what went wrong here. I don't know how to succeed. We want to make sure that people actually drop in and they get present to why they feel so blindsided and what organismic right could be beneath it. So when we use these tools, we see really terrific results. We see increased employee retention. You know our tools are great for that, 90% plus retention. We see up to 53% reduction in employee stress and in sick days. Yay. We see 35% plus increased productivity. We want our people to feel good. We want our people to feel powerful. And we all are emotional beings. So I hope that these tools will help you. Put questions below and I'll respond to them on future videos. And please, of course, subscribe so you can make sure that you know whenever a video comes out. And thank you for joining me today. Enjoy the resources below.